Alright, so new movements, right? We're really inventive here. We try to come up with new stuff all the time. That was a banded full clean and jerk with 3 white lights in the end, that's for sure. Now it is weekend, guys. It is Saturday, April 11. It's time for another episode of our homework workouts. Let's get started. It is time to get started on our warm-up today. We have 3 movements. The thing you're going to need for today's session, like I showed you in the introduction, is going to be that elastic band, because we're going to do snatches, clean and jerks, all the good stuff. Now for the warm-up, the first thing that we will do is some easy split squats without any object. Maybe something soft to place underneath your old man knees. So let's have a look at Ken and William demoing the split squats. So you're going to have a very long stance, and once you're standing, I will tell you this, make the stance longer. Even when you're at home, you do that. Front foot is going to be the foot that we anchor properly. Back foot is going to be on the toes. And then we're going to simply sit down with the hips straight and go back up. Boom. Sit down with the hips straight, go back up. That front foot should be big toe, little toe, heel all on the floor. The back knee gently touching the floor. It's either going to be right underneath the hip in the bottom or still slightly behind the hip. All right. Eventually we'll do reps on both sides. But for now I think we are good. Now what Kenneth is going to show you is what to do when you're injured, in a sense that bending of the knee feels very iffy. In that case, instead of doing 6 and 6 of the split squat, you do 6 reps of a one-legged glute bridge where you drive to the heel and you squeeze your butt as hard as you can, where you try to keep your lifted leg in line with the other leg. Perfectly executed glute bridges. Alright, solid. Now, our second movement here for today is going to be the banded bend over row. So you're going to grab your elastic band, and we're going to have 2 options here. You're going to have William grab the band and stand fully on it, so on 2 sides, and Kenneth on just 1 to make it slightly easier, and they're both going to start off on their rows here. So your upper body is as parallel to the floor as you possibly can. You pull your elbows back and up to get a good action in the lat muscles. Chest stays up nice and high, very solid execution of the bend over row. The more tension you have on the band, the harder it's going to be. Remember, it is just a warm-up, so you just want to get warmed up, no more than that. Now let's go to our third movement here, which is the bend pull apart. You get some action on the rear delts, so you're going to have your arms be right out of you in front. Long arms, you grab either one side of the band or 2, and you're going to literally pull the band apart. And like I said before, this is my favorite name for a movement, because you just say exactly what you have to do. You pull the band apart. So let's pull it apart until you hit your chest and keep your arms in line. So wrist, elbow, and shoulder all stay in the same line. You squeeze your shoulders backwards and you try to keep them low while you're doing this. This is a very good burner, and even a set of 24 should be done unbroken with tension on the band throughout the entire movement. Can you get a bit higher, Kenneth, for me? A bit higher. There you go, buddy. That is nice. Okay, so we've just showed you the movements. Hopefully you already practiced the movement a bit while we were explaining everything. Now it's time to get into some action. So I need you guys to get off the couch and join us for this warm-up, where we start off with 6 split squats aside. Then we move on to 12 repetitions of the bend over row with the band, and then 24 bend pull apart for a total of 3 rounds, where we do 1 round with you guys together. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're going to anchor that front foot properly. If you feel like you're losing balance in the split squats, I always want you to take time to change your positions until you feel better. You want to feel like you have a strong base, hip width stance, very long stance, front foot anchored, back foot on the toe. Your hips go straight down and straight up until 6 repetitions are completed. You don't want to just bump into the floor. You want to kiss the floor with the knee. Good. After 6 and 6, you grab your band and go stand on it, because it's only 12 reps. You want to make it challenging, but not so challenging that form's going to suffer, right? Good. You're going to just make the rows. You want to make sure that your elbow is the primal mover here. Not that you can move the joint, the muscles do that though, but you guys know what I mean here. It's not about how high the bend goes, it is about how high can you pull that elbow back and up to get the lats to work properly here. They need to fire. That is good. Keep the elbows close to the body throughout all 12 reps, and upon completion, you stand up with the band, you place it out right in front with the height of the shoulder, you start pulling that thing apart, and I want you guys to remain tension on the band even when the hands come together. So there's always band tension here, and then you just go for all 24 repetitions. When you're at home and you cannot keep up with the pace or you're running ahead, I want you to either slow down or just stick to the tempo you're doing, because there's no reason to move very fast over the course of this warm-up. So we're still in our first round. I need you guys to finish this round in your own speed, then do 2 more. So continue and press pause. Our second portion of today's workout is, I think, the longest mobility part we've had yet in our homework workouts, but I think you guys will love this one. Just zone out, make sure you have something soft to be on, and let's get some proper work done here for the hips, okay? We're gonna have 2 stretches, and instead of showing you the stretches first, I need you to now get off the couch on the floor. I'll be the timer for you guys, and make sure you have your own one ready to continue after we've done 1 round with you, and set it at 12 intervals of 45 seconds of work and 20 seconds of transition time, so we call that rest, in the Tabata timer on SmartWatch. Okay, I'm gonna have Kenan and William with me as well. I'm gonna talk you all into the stretch, and then I'm gonna set the timers. I'm gonna get my timer ready. It is. Guys, so we're gonna start off on a pigeon stretch here. I want you to place 1 foot in front, cross the leg, get your knee and ankle on the floor. Now William is sitting a bit more upright here, and Kenneth is going to be more lean forward. As long as the hips are squared, I'm fine with both. We're going to actually start in 3, 2, 1. And we're going to hold this stretch for 45 seconds. Now there's lots of things you can do here. You can go back and forth dynamically, but I would love to see a passive stretch here. So just hang into this position and challenge yourself. Now, important things to aim for is the back knee needs to be as far away from the hip as possible, while remaining squared hips. And squared hips means they're in line with the shoulder and they don't tilt to the side. The front leg can be positioned different ways. You can have your foot come out further to the front, which makes it a bit tougher, but it might also hurt your knee if you have old man knees. So in that case, you pull it in just a tiny bit more. We're aiming to feel a stretch there with the glute, maybe the lower back, maybe the groin area as well. And we have 20 seconds, guys, to switch. Let's switch to the other leg, William, you can. 20 seconds to switch to the other leg. I'll count you guys down so you know when to start. You got 10 more seconds. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's start again. So William is still upright, Kenan is still in that relaxed position. They're both slightly different, they're both very good. And now for the remainder of this 45-second time frame, you can listen to the flute. "30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and 20 seconds to switch. Our next stretch will be starting in a big lunge. So you guys can start, so people at home can see it already. And when we're in a big lunge, we want our knee to not pass the ankle. So get it and make sure your front foot's a bit further. And then you're gonna have the same elbow going down next to the foot on the floor. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So we're looking for that groiner stretch, right? Now, ideally, we end up in a position over the course of, let's say, weeks, where we can have our elbow to be resting on the floor. And this is a very good stretch for the groin area. If you have your back knee behind the hip, you're also stretching the hip flexor of the back leg, which makes it a kind of like a combination stretch. We're now right at the halfway point of this first interval. They're still doing good here. You can slowly lean into the stretch even more once you're doing it. We've done tons of variations of the groiner with twisting and all kinds of stuff, but for today we chose to go for this static one because we do lots of time in the stretches. You got 5 more seconds before you have 20 seconds to switch. And switch, 20 seconds. Slowly get into it. If you guys here do it already, the people at home can see how they should set this up properly. First get your lunge ready, then sit upright, and then slowly drive that elbow towards the floor. And time's gonna start in 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. And this is where we insert the flute again. Or we listen to this. Halfway. Alright guys, hold it on for 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, so you guys at home, this is a long mobility session. I need you to stay focused and relaxed in the position. This was one round we did all together. I need you to do 2 more of these rounds. So continue and press pause. Alright, so it is time to have a look at our workout today, which is a 15-minute AMRAP of 3 movements. We're going to take you through all the movements. What I'd like you to do is try to do the movements while we're demoing so you get a good feeling for them before we all do them in the workout. Okay, so let's have a look at the first movement, which is a classic backstep lunge. I'm going to have William and Kenneth both start on this backstep lunge here. You reach back with a leg, you gently touch the floor, and you want to make sure that the front foot is really anchored in the floor properly. Now in the warm-up, we did split squats, which was for a reason. It was to prep for specifically this movement. Now you don't want the back knee to just into the floor. No, you want it to gently kiss the floor. And you want to stay as upright as possible while you're doing the backstep lunges. Now let's rest for a second. Now let's have a look at Kenneth, who's going to show you what should I do at the point where my knees hurt because I have an injury there. Now you're going to lay on the floor like we did in the warm-up. You're going to have one leg up. Then you're going to do 10 repetitions on one leg of the glute bridge. And upon completion of 10, now let's assume this was 10 reps, he's going to switch legs and work the other leg. Here we go. So we're still focusing in this injury scaling option of getting as much lower body work in as possible, with the glutes and hamstring being the driving factor of the movement. And in the backstep lunge, it is exactly that, but we just add the quads in there. Now, let's have a look at our second movement, which is a flutter kick in a hollow body. Now, first thing I need you to do is you go into a hollow body, but your arms can be over your upper body. You don't have to keep them back. And now from there, legs are going to be extended. And you're going to just flutter the kicks. But I do like to see extended legs there. Very nice. Lower back's pressed into the floor. Williams a little bit more shoulder blades off. Very solid. And every leg you move is a rep. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Very quickly. Let's rest for a second, guys. Let's have a look at Kenneth here. Now the first thing, I just thought of, what you can do with scaling is when you're in that position, the same position we just had, is you can get some knee bending in. And instead of getting your entire leg to flutter, you flutter more with the lower portion of the leg. Which sounds more like flutter actually. And also you can always position the hands underneath your butt, which makes it a bit easier to stabilize yourself in that hollow position. You're not only fighting with the core. Now these are good options to scale the flutter kick, which is supposed to be a nice and taxing movement on the abs. Now, our third movement in this workout is gonna have the band in there. So let's grab your bands. Get on your couch now, please. Grab your bands. And you're gonna stand on the right leg on the band, and you're going to have your right hand on the band. You're going to pull it around so the band is slightly behind. Your elbow is going to be right next to your shoulder. You're going to press up, and you're going to bring it back down. You're going to press up. And while you guys are continuing to press, I want you to think this. In the bottom, your thumb is approximately around your shoulder height there. And in the end position, your arm is fully extended, but the shoulder is still low. You want to aim for extending the elbow and not raising up the shoulder with it. Beautiful one-arm presses that we're doing here. Now in the workout, it says 20/20, which means you have to complete all 20 reps on one arm before moving on to the other arm. But we're now going to assume that while William is continuing on the RX variation, that Kenneth says, dude, it is too heavy for me to go through 20 unbroken reps. I don't want him to do 20/20. I want him to do 40 reps of the regular overhead press with the band. It is a lot lighter than one arm. But he then does have to do 40 reps instead of 20 per arm, so 40 in total. Beautiful. Now let's say that Kenneth has a shoulder injury that tells him not to go overhead. In this case, he's going to a bend over row position, flat back, chest is going to be nice and up. Now he's going to hold both arms long and he's going to do 20 reps, which is one arm of the row. And the other arm is statically holding tension on the band. So even a non-working arm has band tension here. Upon completion of the 20 with one, he moves on to 20 with the other arm while trying to maintain strong torso position, a tight core, and a good pull from that elbow back and up. I don't want you to put your back against the wall. I want you to start on the workout. So get off the couch. We just showed you the movements. Hopefully you tried out all the movements. We're now going to pull them into a 15-minute AMRAP. So you're going to need your band. You're going to need your smartwatch app. I want you to set the timer, the AMRAP timer at 15 minutes and get as much quality work in as possible. In the end of the session, you're going to log your results in the app so we all stay connected, right? Let's do it. So, guys, get ready at home. Work with us here. Wait for me to count you down. William and Kenneth will do this with you. And we're going to start with 20 back step lunges in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So again, the goal is to stay as upright as we possibly can. Gently touch the floor with our back knee and make sure our front foot stays anchored properly. Right? It's very important during these movements. Kenneth is saving his knees by having something soft placed underneath. If you're at home, you probably have something soft there as well, which you can use to place your knees on, which is nice. The back step lunge are not really a fast movements. None of these three are. You just want to actually aim for this workout that never ever stop moving. Right? If you take breaks, do it quickly in between movements or slow down the pace of the movements. That is the thing we're looking for. Upon completion of the 20 alternating back step lunges, you guys at home, we move into the flutter kicks in hollow. This will only take a couple of seconds. But the fun thing is we're in hollow here, right? Very quick 20 flutter kicks. We get out of there, we tax the abs, we go back to the arm. And we're going to move on with the shoulder presses with the band here. 20 reps on one arm. Now Kenneth is opting for the skilled option by doing this with two arms at the same time. That doesn't mean he has to do 40 reps here. Now although these flutter kicks only took them like 8 to 9 seconds, they're now going to have to do shoulder presses for probably close to a minute. So yes, the shoulders will burn today, but eventually, because we're doing this for 15 minutes straight, it'll be a long burner anyway. We're only a minute and a half in. So I'm going to think it probably take a little over 2 minutes around. But let's say, what pace can you keep on this one? We might zoom into 6 to 7 rounds of this. So I am talking about 120 or 140 lunges, the same for the flutter kicks, and that many presses per arm. Ouch, this is going to be a very painful but fun 15 minutes to go through. Now William is on to his second arm, which means we know exactly where he is in the workout. With Kenneth 2 arms, I have no clue where he is, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. You guys at home, if you're running behind or you're not this far in the workout yet, that is all good. It's an AMRAP. You want to move with quality. If you're way ahead of us, maybe you should slow down, focus on quality, and make sure you finish the 15 minutes properly. Right? Nice. Now they're almost done with their first round. I'm going to peek here. We are about 2.5 minutes into this one, right? That means we're going to get in that 6 to 7 minute time, 6 to 7 rounds in total. So I need you guys to keep going on this 15-minute AMRAP to continue and press pause.